Oh my goodness. Hi guys, I'm Callie.
And I'm Jessica, and we are Reality Check. And today's episode is pretty big. I almost feel like this episode was like 15 years in the making.
It has been.
I've been waiting to tell this story, but before we get into it, I'm going to teach Callie how to make a Paloma Spritz.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so get your cocktails, make what we're making. And this is going to be a long video, guys,
Right.
so buckle up.
Get your wine glasses out because it's going to
Buckle
go in a
up.
wine glass. Get you some ice.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to take 1.5 ounces of tequila.
Uh-huh.
We have tequila ocho. It is 100% agave, unlike
The other
certain
brands.
other tequilas that have come out to be artificial tequila. This is made from the Blue Weber agave plant, so it has hints of citrus and caramel in it.
Oh.
This is the good shit that all the tequila experts are raving about right now.
Yum.
So we're gonna take 1.5 ounces.
Okay. And that's to this line.
Yep, to the line.
I remembered. Okay. La, 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 la.
Mm-hmm.
Pow.
Yep,
Do, 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 do. Ooh, little
that's
over.
fine.
That's Jessica's anyways.
Yep. Okay. So then we're gonna take our simple syrup.
Simple syrup. How
All
much?
right. We're gonna do about 1/2 ounce.
And that's to this line?
Yes.
Okay. I had to...
No, it's this line.
Oh, the middle line. Okay, okay. Here, I'm just going to move. Can I move this over here?
Yep.
Sorry. I feel like I'm going to knock shit over. La da 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 da. Do 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 do. Taking my time. Oh shit. Don't break the glass, Callie Auto.
All right. All right. And then,
Okay.
yeah. So then we're gonna take our lime juice.
Oh.
Take this over here.
Lime juice. Okay.
All right. And you're gonna do about 1/4 ounce of lime juice.
So that's the first line.
That first line.
Do 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 do.
Yep.
Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Needed a
All
little
right.
extra.
So then, take our organic grapefruit juice.
Ooh.
All right. And we're gonna do 2 ounces. So all the
So
way up to the top.
Okay, okay. See, I'm learning, guys.
Yeah. Sweet.
Why am I always pouring a little bit more in yours?
I have no idea. All right.
God.
Okay. And
It's a
then,
habit.
Callie, take that bubbly.
Champagne.
Yep. The
Just
champagne.
fill it up to the top.
And fill it up.
Oh, girl. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. Oh, okay.
All right. I'm gonna just kind of stir it a
Stir
little
it a little
bit.
bit. It looks gorge. It looks summery. It looks fun and festive.
All right. Okay. Now it normally gets garnished with a lime. We're not gonna do all that. So just pretend there's a garnish.
Oh my God. And
So, cheers.
This cute photo. Ah. Mm. Goddamn bitch.
That's good.
Learn from the pros, and then you can always be an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So we've had adventures.
Yes, we did.
So first we saw Christina.
Yep. We went and hung out with Christina Balanek a couple times.
Yeah. Well, you got to see her a couple times. I saw her once. We went to the Harris pool, and then you guys went to the Link pool. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's always, Harris pool is so nice, so we got to keep you updated, guys. Turns out you can't bring anything in anymore.
I'm sorry, but like, you're at the fucking Harris pool. What are you doing?
They were like,
you're
you can
on
bring
your way-
food, juice, water,
I mean,
no
you can't,
alcohol.
like, first of all, you can't do that anyway. Like, when you told me that, I was like, there's no fucking way.
Yeah, they never checked.
But you've never checked. But here's what's the worst part. The worst part is, like, we are on our way out the door, and they stop Christina to check her fucking bag.
Yeah, it's like we've been here for
Why?
hours, and we bought
I mean,
a
we bought a
day
day bed.
Like,
So we're spending money. Like, what the fuck, man?
yeah, no, and we were like really easy people because we're just like, bring us the booze.
Yeah.
I mean,
like,
I don't know.
it was not even a thing.
So that was a disappointment for me. I was like, damn, guys, I'm really trying to show you off. You guys gotta fucking behave the way you're behaving. Trying to show my friend
Dude,
a good time.
They check your bag when you walk into the link pool. They check your bag when they check your ID, and then nobody fucking bothers you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the whole thing was weird, but it's okay. We still had a good time. We still got to have some girl time.
Yeah.
Vegas baby had the great time wandering around and seeing other kids too. There's a couple of kids that he saw. And then, yeah, and then you and Christina went to the link pool.
We went to the link pool this week. I got there pretty early, and so shout out to Erwin and Sean. They saved me a couple lawn chairs, got me a table. Yeah. They just all around like VIP'd me that whole day, and I pretty much
They take good care of you.
They always take good care of me at the link pool. I don't ever have to worry about anything, and they just whatever. And even on days where I get there and there's not a chair, I'll just sit at the bar and they'll be like, hold on, and then they'll go find me a chair.
They do.
Like that's the vibe. And then you have the DJ who was playing really like great music all day long. It was all like millennial shit. We were just just in the pool, just like, and then like we played beer pong. We played like 3 games of beer pong.
Fun.
Before Christina got there, we played 3 games of beer pong.
She gets there really early. She gets there at like 9.
I got there like 9:30, so I actually ended up. I was studying for my VIX menu test, and then after that, it was like super good looking dude comes over to me and he goes, "You've had your nose in a book for like 3 hours."
Oh yeah, he was hot, guys. He was hot, romance novel hot. Like, okay, Daddy, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with my studying
so
ass?
He was like, turns out he's from my hometown.
Weird.
Yeah.
Small world.
Literally like went to my rival high school.
That's so funny.
And yeah, so I ended up playing beer pong, and then a few times for like a few games, and then Christina came in. She got here, and then like went to the restroom, and she goes, "Jessica, how the hottest guy here?"
I told Lance Bass this too. That's my bitch. That's why.
I
That's
was
my bitch.
I was studying the whole time. Like, I wasn't bothering anybody. I didn't talk to anybody. I was literally
Romance
just
novel.
my nose in a book. Like,
Oh, we met in Vegas.
like taking notes, studying. Like, I want to pass this test, so I'm like,
Oh, what a fantasy. Oh, I'm schoolgirl.
yeah, can you just take a break and play? So I was like, hell yeah. So we all had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And we all left at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I had plans, Christina had to go do her show, he had plans, so we just all like left at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. And I was like, Christina, how do you like this pool? And she goes, I love this. Like the vibe of this pool is just it's
Nice.
there.
Yeah.
100%. So
Unlike Harris, killing my vibe.
I mean, that killed the vibe.
I was so pissed. I was like, bitch, you know how many times I brought in a tall can in here?
They probably made that rule because of you.
I mean, I haven't gone that many times, but they're probably like, that bitch right there. No, it's all right. But on a brighter side, I found this list of free things to do. Now,
You should just jokingly go to like Walmart. Walmart's free.
listen, you might see some content. I have posted 2 videos about it. Me and Vegas Baby went out and about. We saw the flamingos, which is always a good time. I always love it. For this list, it's like an 1,000 out of 10. Like that activity is 1,000 out of 10. But the list has things that are closed on it. Like it's like, take the tram to the Mirage, baby. What? And this was supposed to be an updated list for 2025.
Did they just like knock at the memo?
Right? Well, then I'm like, okay, so I can't do that, cross that off. And then it was like 2 of the attractions were closed already. And a lot of it is like, you can go to a store. You're right, I can. Like, I can go to Miracle Mile shops. You're right. What is there to do at Miracle Mile shops? So, you'll probably get a new list. So keep an eye out for those videos. I'm gonna try to hit all of them, but it's been a lot of fun. We tried to go see the Caesar's Palace animatronics, and his hands melted off. That's always fun. I've already seen that. That's like my favorite thing to do. But
it's the best thing. Honestly, I love doing it.
Yeah, it's like 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10 must see in Vegas, in my opinion.
It's so cheesy.
Yes.
It's like Chuck E. Cheese level fucking cheese.
Oh yeah, and his hand is literally melted off.
Because they have, there's like pyrotechnics in it.
It's so funny. Anyways, that was our adventure. But yeah, keep an eye out for more fun.
I think this is the best tea out of all the tea.
Oh my god, it's so
because
good.
It's still Vegas tea, but also Hollywood tea.
Well, also, it's just so funny because, like, there's history, like, with, there's history. Let us tell you the tea of the history. But, like, there's history that we've been joking about for, what, our whole relationship?
Yeah.
And it's, like, the fact that we get to talk about it now.
I know.
It's so rewarding.
I was really afraid to talk about it back in September, but because I was like, we were at Composer's Room, and there were some people that work in this, like, that are, worked for both Zak and Pompeii, so I was like, I don't think that this is a good idea.
Yeah.
But then Holly made it super mainstream.
Thank God.
And I was like, well, I guess it's okay now.
No, honestly, thank God for Holly, because now we get to talk. I'm so excited.
Yeah, because like, here's the thing is like I mean, we'll talk about Holly and like I'll get into my stuff, but I've never publicly again, I'm not trying to say bad things.
No.
This is just my own experience.
Yeah.
And again, we're cool now, but I told Christina Balanek the story and she goes like, I don't think you're cool now. I was like, I again told good stories to like balance out the bad ones. So hopefully
honestly, I don't know. So let's keep you up on the tea. So Holly Madison and Zak broke up, which that happened a while ago. But recently, Holly found out that not only did Zak cheat on her, he cheated on her with, at first it was like 3 girls, and it was like 5 girls, and then it ended up being 10 girls that are like confirmed that he cheated on her with. And so she went on a TikTok, Instagram, well, she still is. Queen is still popping off. She's like, expose. And so she's like reposting everybody talking about it. So, okay.
Me included.
Yeah, so I will say, this brought up a whole thing of Zak stories. So everyone's been telling their Zak stories. And homie hasn't changed a bit.
No.
Homie hasn't changed.
He hasn't changed
bit.
at all. And the thing is too, it's kind of sad, but I thought he did because my whole thing was like, if Holly sees something in him, and he's taken her out, and she's been kind of keeping it on the DL, but we know
pretty public.
It's like,
it was public, but not.
But we also knew that
it was a shy public. It was like, look at us, but don't.
That one time she was at the Knights game, and we were like, we know who she's with.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just, we thought that they were on and off because that is what
we
Zak,
were told. Yeah.
We were told. It's what Zak wanted everybody to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Back in September, he showed up on the Are We Dating the Same Guy?
Oh, that's right. I forgot that happened.
And that was in September.
And Jessica was on that. She just happens to be on the site.
I'm on that site.
And he pops up. And you're like, yeah, homie, it's Zak.
The guy found me on MySpace. So we're like, yeah. So then, but some of the girls were just kind of like, the things they said, they're like, oh yeah, he would always come in and he's just so he was such a creeper and this and that and just saying really awful things. And I'm like, well, did you talk to him? Did you, because sometimes he's kind of socially awkward too. So if he's just kind of hey, whatever. But he's not gonna be I don't know.
He's not gonna be
he'll probably seem like a creeper because he's very socially awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
He's a goofy dude. Turns out goofy.
But some of the other girls were like, nobody asked is he still dating Holly? Nobody asked that question.
Yeah.
They're just like, well, me and Zak have been, and I'm not sure, I think he really likes me and this and this and this, and I'm like, I want so fucking badly. I wanted to be like, you're a fucking moron.
Yeah.
All of you. The lot of you are just so stupid.
Yeah.
Because, if you want to go bang a TV star knowing that there's no strings attached, Have a great fucking time. Do you? It'll be a great story.
Check it off the list and move
Bucket
on.
list. Like, that's fine. Just know that nothing's gonna happen. But, like, falling for a dude like Zak.
Have you seen his glasses?
I mean, listen,
And
I
love
saw
funky
his
glasses, but they come off as douchebaggery. She did say it's interesting because she, like Holly said,
It was endearing back then, though. When it,
Yeah, it was
because
cool for the
because he was so
time.
well, for me, it was
Yeah.
like because he was hiding it and he was really shy about it and he wasn't
Yeah,
sure. Like, he didn't just, like, you
no,
know.
the glasses became his whole personality.
They became his, but
Like,
back then, like,
yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
it was definitely a different time, though, because, you know, 2011.
And those glasses were cool then, though.
They were.
So it was like, it was on par. But yeah, so like Holly posted a video too, and she was like, yeah, Zak never like made time for me. Like, it was always like I had to see him in these time periods.
Oh, yeah,
and,
he goes to
like,
bed early.
He goes to bed early and he wakes up early, and so it sounds like they never did like sleepovers. They
He
never
does go to bed early. I can attest to that.
like, but like, so it was that, and then it turned into also like she said that he never met her kids because he would always talk about how much he hated kids. Which then I kind of like, girl, why are you dating a dude that doesn't want kids? Like, I feel like
Oh, yeah.
that's the nail in the coffin right there. It's kind of Dunsky at that point.
But once again, I thought he changed. Like, the whole time they were dating, I was like, do we think that...
Well, it was 6 years. They were dating for 6 years. Like, why
The
wouldn't
whole
he?
time they were dating, I was like, I wonder if the kids got, like, if the kids were, like, involved. Like, did they date it? Like, that was always, like, that was always a thought with me.
Yeah.
Because as somebody who's dated somebody with kids, it took like a year.
Yeah.
You know? So...
I mean, it would take me a long time before I introduced somebody.
Yeah.
Especially, like, and I don't know, but 6 years is so long, so that means, like, no holidays together.
Yeah.
Like, so it was wild. But, like I said, we have a source that has told us, like, oh, yeah, he always says he's on and off. I don't think he was on and off.
I don't think they were
I don't
on
think
and off.
Holly thought they were on and off. I think Zak did. But, Jessica, we're now here for what we've all been waiting for, which is Jessica's story.
My Zak story. Okay.
Ah!
So it all begins
Uh-huh.
in 2010. I was on my computer
Uh-huh.
because, you know, we only had flip phones back then.
That's all you can
Or
do.
Nokia phones, you know, Razor phones, whatever.
That's all you could do.
So I'm, like, on my laptop,
Uh-huh.
check my MySpace,
Hey, Tom.
and I got a message from Zak. Now, mind you, I just got Morgan Wallen commenting on my Facebook. So
Oh, listen. That will play into later, too.
this is why I was like, the fuck? So, anyway, so I get this message, and I'm like, there's no way this is Zak.
Yeah.
And what was so funny was I was so excited about it that I wanted, because, like, I wanted proof.
Yeah.
So, like, I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I think I got a message on Facebook, or on my MySpace from Zak Bagans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, like, email it to you. Like,
Yeah.
can you print it out for me? Like, I was so, because, like, at that point in time,
You're like, oh my
I was just, like, this budding, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Ghost hunter,
ghost
inspire.
hunter. I mean, I already kind of, like, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh my God. Like, Brad and Barry like to say that they discovered me, but really, like, Zak did. So, unfortunately, Zak Bagans, which is fine. That's cool. Like, that's, you know, claim to fame. But anyway, so Zak finds me, and I was like, yeah, right, this isn't Zak.
Yeah.
Because as we know now, like, I have 8 million text messages on TikTok from Matt Rife. So, like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So he gives me his phone number.
Bold.
And Zak calls me. And I was like, okay, well, and I was like, oh, shit. And so then I text him.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
you know. And then he's, like, texting me back. And then he calls me. And actually, you know what? I actually think it was, like, the first beginning iPhone. I think it was 2000. It was 2000. I still had iPhones. But it was, like, I think it was the first one. Because
2010
I remember.
had an iPhone.
So, yeah, I think I had the very.
Oh, yeah, I think 2008 is when they came
Yeah,
out.
so I think I had an iPhone.
Yeah.
But I feel like,
Yeah.
because MySpace. So, anyway, so I look at my phone and Zak calls me. And I'm, like, losing my mind. and I'm on the phone with him. I'm on the phone with Zach, and my mom is like in the next room going, Jessica, and I'm like,
leave me alone, Mom. I'm on the phone with my boyfriend.
Zak Bagans is fucking on the phone with me. What are you doing?
Me.
Leave me alone.
I'm trying to shoot my shot, bitch.
Yeah. So Zach and I were talking, and it was like, it was him, and I was like, I couldn't even tell you what we talked about because I was so like, again, this was, I was like 22 years old.
I was going to say, you're so young,
So
too.
young.
And remember those rose-colored glasses? You're like, I've made it. I've talked to Zach. I've made it. Like.
Yeah. So I was like losing my mind.
Yeah.
So for the next year, me and Zach texted each other every day, all day long. Like for a whole year.
Oh my goodness.
Like even like my friend Lindsay that like does makeup and everything for Ulta. Her and I were working Merle Norman together, and her and I would sit there on my phone, and like because Zach would just be texting me, and so we would like send him funny pictures from work. Like we were just like trying on makeup and we're like sending silly photos, and then he would text me from like wherever location he was at. He would send pictures like random screenshots of wherever he's at, like, filming or whatever. Yeah. Like. And then, you know, we used to talk about, like, different pieces of equipment that we used. And some of them we were using, like, there was a piece of equipment that I talked about with him that Georgia Paranormal Research Society had donated to me. And it was a microphone with external microphones. Oh. Or, sorry, it was like an audio recorder with external microphones. So I called it my Mickey Mouse recorder.
Okay.
Because it looked like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. I know the one you're talking about,
so, so that was like a really big thing for me, and so I was talking to him about it, and I was like, dude, this is amazing, you should get it, blah, blah. So at length, so that's going to play into some stuff later. Okay. So then I get, then I was going through, like, eventually, like, I was dating this guy, and I was going through a breakup, and I was really fucking sad about it. Yeah. And then, but I was kind of, like, distracting myself with paranormal stuff, like, through, just throwing myself into that. So me and Norcross Paranormal put together like a little event and had some people like get tickets to investigate with us at Chickamauga Battlefield. So we were at Chickamauga Battlefield all day. And I'm talking to my buddy from Norcross Paranormal all about like everything, and he's like all the paranormal drama that nobody sees, you know, with like other with other shows.
There's drama, guys.
Oh yeah.
Trust me when I say there's drama. Anyways,
there was a lot of drama. So he would talk to me about dude. So it's not even only Zach. Like there's
it's the whole thing. It's the whole gang. A whole gang.
This like
it's weird.
I got out of it and it wasn't anything to do with Zach. It was everyone else.
Yeah, truly.
Anyway, everyone else.
That was my tangent.
Anyway, so so then we're investigating and it's dusk. And I was talking to my buddy about Zach. Well, actually, no, we were talking about my breakup, and I was like, I just didn't see it coming, and this and that, and then, you know, and I was kind of feeling down, but we were, you know, so I don't know how it happened, but out of fucking nowhere, my phone rings. Who was it? And I get my phone out, and I was like, it's Zach. And I'm like, my hand starts shaking, and I'm like, because he never calls me.
It's happening again.
And he never calls me.
Yeah.
And like, he knew I was out investigating because I told him. But like, because we were texting.
Yeah.
But he doesn't call me really, except for that one time to prove that it was him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hello? And Zach's like, hey, Jess, quick question. How far away are you from Tennessee? And I'm like...
Right where I need to be, Daddy.
Dude.
Sorry, I had to.
The Chickamauga Battlefield straddles the Georgia-Tennessee border.
Oh, does it really? I didn't know that. I need to... Guys, listen, I'll show up there one day.
Half the battlefield's in Georgia and the other half's in Tennessee.
So you're like, I'll be there.
I was like, 15 minutes. What do you need? And he was like, okay, well, I'll be there tomorrow. So how far away are you, like, tomorrow? And I was like, hour and a half. And he's like, do you want to come hang? And I was like, yes. 100%. 100%.
And I absolutely would have taken that opportunity. And you know what's really crazy? If he did that now, okay, well, that would be weird if he did that now. But, like, if I would probably hang out with Zach once.
Yeah.
I take the opportunities still, knowing what I know, just so I could say I did it. So yeah, fuck yeah, I take it. Hell yeah, every time.
So
Every time.
then, Aaron and Nick, because Nick was still in the group at the time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that breakup.
Yeah.
Drama.
Nick was still in the group. So they were staying at Holiday Inn.
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget this. They were staying at Holiday Inn. Zach was staying at Country Inn and Suites.
Okay.
So I went and like knocked on his door and he's like, "Hey, just good." And he gave me this big hug and he's like, "Well, it's about time we actually like met in person. You and I have just been like chit-chatting back and forth for a year." I'm like, "I know, and I'm glad our schedule's kind of like, you know,
weird.
That's cool." So he's like, "All right, and I like went into his room and he was like, "All right, let me get my shit together and let's go get dinner." And I was like, "All right, cool." So we're going to dinner.
Take me out to dinner.
And while we're walking to dinner, he like starts to call me like JJ, and I kind of hate that name.
You're 22. It's maybe cute at 22.
I kind of hate that name.
I can see that. I would hate it too.
So I
unoriginal.
So I kind of was like, yeah, I don't like that name.
I'm glad you said something. I wanted to say shit
I know,
at 22.
when people try to call me JJ, I mean, I let Brandon at Vix call me that, but I don't let anybody else call me that.
Yeah.
But anytime anybody's like, well, "Why don't you let?" I'm like, "Listen, I didn't even let Zak Bagans call me JJ. So like, let's just be real, like
right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, "So why is everybody staying at Holiday Inn and you're at Country Inn and Suites? Like, we're like this is like the conversation we're having like on the walk."
Yeah.
And he's like,
"Sorry, I just
he
had
goes,
an idea." Okay.
no. He was like, at first it was like because they were only giving me rooms that like face the highway.
Oh, okay.
Which I get. Like, you have
to...
Yeah,
those are loud.
You know, like, if you're filming all night, if you want to get a good night's sleep and then you have to film all day and then, like, through the night, like, you want to get...
Well, it's like filming, like you said, like, all day, and then it's probably filming all through the night, and so all you hear is the highway, and it's already bright in your room because you know what I'm... Like, it's
you want a good night's sleep. Like, he wasn't investigating the hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was like...
It's still loud when you're trying to get sleep. Exactly.
Okay, so, fair.
Yeah.
But then, like... There were, like, a couple of rooms that he, like, walked in and he was just like, I don't like the...
Okay.
He basically...
Well, now you're at the Hilton. It's a bird habitat.
It's a Holiday Inn. But
you're at a bird habitat.
Like, he basically was like, I don't really like the vibe here, or I don't like the...
Okay, diva.
Diva. Then, like, so, yeah, like, he went from, like, and I was like, well, whatever. And so, but he was like, the crazy thing is like, I came into Country Inn and Suites and told them what I wanted. And they gave me the room that I exactly wanted, and it was fine. And that's why I have like the room that I have. And I was like, all right,
cool. What a joy to work with.
Yeah. So then we go to dinner, and we're at Waffle House.
Fucking Waffle House. Did you see a fight? No.
I remember he was wearing like a black baseball hat, and out of nowhere, like,
sounds about on par.
Server comes over. Yeah, I mean, but the server comes over and, you know, like, starts to take our drink order or whatever. I don't know what the fuck possessed him to do this, but Zach responded in his best, or I guess worst, like, Southern accent. I mean, I was crying. It was hilarious. But I was like, what are you doing? And...
I mean, you're 22. She was 22. It makes
22.
sense. I would have done the same thing at 22. I would have laughed at every joke.
He didn't break character the whole time we were at dinner, though. Anytime the server came over.
Method acting at dinner.
Anytime. Like, he would talk normal to me when the server walked away.
I thought you meant he was in a Southern accent the whole time. I was like, yo.
No. Anytime the server came over. He would, like, talk normal to me, but then the server would come over and he would go right back into Southern accent. Dude's from Michigan. Like...
And spent a lot of time in Vegas.
Yeah. Like so...
Okay.
All right.
Ick. Okay, 22, though. It makes
I'm 22.
sense. It wouldn't have given me a dick at 22.
Who's never met a famous person in her life.
That's what I mean. Like, I would have just been like, ha! I mean, like, the whole time.
And then, like, to me, I'm like, at 22, I've never met anybody famous, and the highest rated ghost hunter in the entire
and that's what you're doing.
World has called me.
Yeah, and it's
like,
talking to you.
I'm like, yes, whatever, like, whatever, Zach.
Yes. Now, remember this dynamic, because I'm going to mention it later.
Okay. So we have dinner, and then, what else happened? Oh, I said something to him I shouldn't have said, but...
Oh, what was it?
I forgot that I wasn't supposed to say anything. No, okay, so in this year that Zach had gotten a hold of me, I also met Brad and Barry clean.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful people.
Anyway, so Brad found me because of my Ghost Hunters. Somehow he got a hold of my Ghost Hunters Academy audition tapes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, I had also kind of gone on his page and been like, hey, I thought about doing this. What do you think?
Yeah.
And then before calling me or like getting a hold of me, he like he found all my shit.
Yeah.
And he thought I was like he thought I was talented.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. So then I started getting mentored by them. They start inviting me out to set. So like the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital episode, I actually was in the lab, in the ghost lab.
Do we see you?
No, because I wasn't part of so they had to film shit separately. So while they only had 3 cameras. So the cameras were on Brad, Barry, and Katie while they were in there. So since they weren't filming in the lab at the time, I got to sit in the lab. And so all the evidence that they had me mark time on anything, on stuff. I had Corey watching me, like training me. Corey and Steve watching me and training me on how to mark time and with EVPs and stuff. But I was on my own at that point because I'd already, so all that evidence is mine. But that's whatever, here nor there. So
great guys.
Yeah. So when they refilmed it, when they filmed inside the lab, they it was like my notes, like whatever.
You know what though? TV is bullshit. Thank you, Mr. Ross.
So Brad tells me, and I have no issues telling this story. Okay, I'm gonna tell this story.
Ooh, it's talking shit, right? I love talking shit. Especially against these guys. I'll beat them up. They're literally like this tall compared to me, but I'd fuck them up. Pregnant all. Fuck them up.
So at this point in time, Brad's talking to me about Zach. And he tells me that because Discovery was in the middle of being Discovery and like Travel Channel were in the middle of being
Ghost
bought out.
Had like 2 seasons?
So hold on. So this was before that.
I'm jumping ahead.
You're jumping ahead.
I'm jumping ahead.
So Ghost Lab had finished their like first season.
Okay.
I helped in that while they were filming that first season.
Okay.
So Brad starts talking to me about Zach. Travel Channel was getting ready to get bought out from Discovery because Travel Channel was part of Discovery.
Yes.
Okay. So he tells me this story about how the guy that bought Travel Channel wasn't big on the paranormal. And it was like against his religion. So Ghost Adventures was going to be gone. So if any of you remember this,
I do.
When Ghost Adventures was playing nothing but reruns for 8 months.
Ooh, yeah, I do remember.
Do you remember?
That.
Like every week
I was like, oh, they're done. Bye.
Yes, all reruns.
I never watched.
Did I ever tell you this story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 8 months. It was all reruns.
Yeah.
And we were all wondering what was going on, but we all still watched it because it's Ghost Adventures, right? So
I was a ghost hunter girl, Steve Gonsalves, even though I could break him. It's all right.
Yeah. So what happened was the guy that purchased Travel Channel, he was going to get rid of Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
But then he saw the ratings on reruns.
He was like,
it by
fuck Jesus,
far,
give me the money.
By far surpassed any other show, including Destination Truth.
Which is so funny because, like, in my world, that's hilarious. It's like, I feel like ghost shows were like such a phase, but like Zach really has a following.
Oh, yeah.
Like, crazy.
There's one girl on my TikTok that tried to come for me that was like, I would fight for, like, I love Zach, I'd fight for him. I was like,
Truly.
Ew. But
like, it was weird.
People are fucking crazy.
It was weird.
For that guy. But like, the thing is, like, ratings were there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so what ended up happening was Zak didn't lose his show. Zak then got promoted.
Yeah.
Ghost Adventures became Travel Channel's flagship show. They were the face of Travel Channel. So we're at dinner. And I was like, you know, congrats on the new season, because I heard that you guys were going to be gone, but then like, because,
Yeah.
you know, and I basically like gave him like the Cliff Notes version of that story. And he looked at me and he's like, Jessica, how do you know that?
Uh-oh.
And I was like, some people told me, and he was like, Jessica, only like a handful of people know that. How do you know that? And nowadays, I would have thrown Brad and Barry under the fucking bus.
Yeah, deserves it.
But
So mean to those people. I met him once. Like,
oh man, if you knew them,
I was pregnant.
If you knew them when I knew them, you would want to fight. You would be even more mad.
I was pregnant, and the vibe they gave, I was already pissed off as it was, because I was having like contractions. Listen, I didn't realize how pregnant I was when I went to that convention, and like I was like, I'm so fucking pregnant. You better be nice to my friend. Like, I was just so mean.
I could do an entire show on Brad alone.
Maybe we should.
No. So, I mean, maybe, but no.
No.
They're not even worth my time. So, I didn't, but at the time, they were my friends. They had rebranded my team. I had gone from like Ghost Atlanta.
They were being useful.
And they like helped, they trained me.
Yeah.
They gave me a new team name. They gave me a new logo. Like, Brad had, like, it was just a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so, and after, you know, I met them, then we, like, Allison and I ended up on the cover of a magazine. We fucking, we just, like.
Wait, we gotta get it.
I mean, that wasn't the magazine cover, but that was the shoot for the magazine cover. Yeah, so.
I mean, hello.
Wartime Paranormal. So, yeah, that was the shoot we did for the magazine cover, and then the magazine cover ended up choosing, like, the worst photo. Like, that would have been the best magazine cover.
No, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So, I wasn't going to throw them under the bus at that point in time.
Yeah.
So, I kept it from Zak. I was like, rumor has it. I don't know. I got a lot of friends. I don't know. So, he was like, all right. And then we go back to his room. And, watch Pearl Harbor. We did watch Pearl Harbor. That was on TV. We snuggled up on the couch. Watch Pearl Harbor. I'm not going to get into detail about the rest of it.
Pearl Harbor is a great movie. Very romantic.
He did tell me to, like, his room did have 2 beds, so I had to sleep in the other bed so he could get a good night's sleep.
You never told me that. Hold on. Hold on.
That's like that one TikTok that we just,
Hi, that was great. Unbelievable, into the unknown. But I need you to sleep in over there. Like, at 22, I would have done it too. I would be like,
well, I'm not driving home. Like, it's
Yeah,
an hour and a half away.
I'd be like, you're right, Zak. You need your sleep. Ugh, let me just go over here. I'll sleep better too.
So.
Sorry, hold on.
So, anyway, on our way back from Waffle House, we kind of joked about it and called it Awful House. So that's kind of our inside joke. Hold on.
Shit.
A couple years later. Okay. So, well, anyway, like, this is kind of getting ahead of myself. So, Awful House. And then, we go back to his room and whatever. So, the next day, I wake up super early because I had to be at work at, like, 9 a.m.
Oh, so you have an hour and a half commute plus getting out of there.
I think I left at, like, 6 because I got home and wanted to get ready for work.
Yeah.
I was working at Zaxby's at the time.
Okay.
So my boss was head of the Georgia Paranormal Research Society.
Oh, so this was like, hey, buddy, I'm going to be late, but it's a good reason. You'll
Oh, no,
understand.
dude. Like, I got to Zaxby's, and I worked at a haunted one, mind you.
Funny.
Yeah. So, and it was haunted as shit. So I got to work, and I was like, guess what I did last night? Like, it was hilarious.
I watched Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. So anyway, so Zach actually ended up calling me when I got home. Like he called me when he woke up to make sure that I got home.
That's nice of him.
And I was like, yeah, I gotta get ready for work here soon. And he goes, I don't know where you heard it from. Like it's kind of like bothering me. Like I know like you and I have been friends, but like it's a little weird that you knew information that you weren't supposed to know. So, like, who are you? And I'm like, listen, I just heard it from, like, other shows. And he's like, how do you know about other shows? And I'm like, because they all found me. I don't fucking know. Like,
well, I'm working on one.
I don't know.
I don't know, Zach, the same way you're working on a show.
Yeah,
I can do the same thing,
well,
buddy.
I didn't tell him any of that. Like, he didn't know that I had been back and forth with, like, he didn't know. Because
interesting.
I was keeping them separate. Because Brad and Barry knew I was friends with Zach, and they kept trying to get dirt on him, and I refused to.
They're such great people.
They wanted dirt for the mutiny, and I was not gonna give it to them.
Drama.
They got Brad. The truth is Brad and Barry got fired, and they wanted other people to blame instead of themselves.
It couldn't be their personalities.
So that's
I need to stop.
Okay,
back to Zach.
So back to Zach.
This wasn't supposed to be a ghost hating thing. It's so funny. Okay, back to Zach.
I got so many.
I know. That's why it's so hard.
So many stories.
It's so hard. Okay.
All right. Okay. So I was like, well, and so that was fine. Like, and he was like, just don't like spread that. I'm like, I didn't say. Now after Brad and Barry told me that story, I didn't say anything to anybody. Except for Zach.
Yeah.
But like no one else knew.
Yeah.
So I like kept that shit in the vault. Well, later on that day, I'm at work. We are having the worst storms. There are fucking tornadoes tearing through Marietta.
Oh my god.
Like full on tornadoes. We're talking Night of the Twisters. Like it was the night. It was close to being the same as like that night where my parents were gone, and it was pretty bad. That was
a bad night.
So I'm at home, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. And Billy Tolley, who's still on the show, was like, he's like their audio tech guy or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's still on the show. His Twitter was he just kept like, well, my flight got delayed again because of the tornadoes. Like, he's stuck in Atlanta. Yeah. Trying to get to Tennessee. So he just kept tweeting, yep, flight got delayed again. And so I'm like, that sucks. And then I start to like fall asleep. Well, then my phone just goes off. It just like pings, and I'm like, what's going on now? It's texting me. So I open my phone, and it's Billy messaging me on Twitter. Now,
I know where this is going.
Billy knows that I'm friends with Zach.
Yes.
Billy knows that I live in Atlanta.
Yes.
Billy knows I'm not far.
Yes.
So Billy was like, Jess, can you do me a favor?
Yes, I'm going to help my buddy out.
So I was like, minding my own business. He came to me.
Yeah.
And he was like, can you do me a favor? If my flight gets delayed again, like, how far away are you from the airport? I'm like, well, I'm like 45 minutes. And he's like, do you think you can come pick me up and take me and drive me to Chattanooga to Tennessee? And I was like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just came from there last night, so that's totally fine. And he's like, okay, I'll pay for gas, like, whatever. And I was like, cool.
I got you, bro.
No probs. I got you.
Yeah.
And then I went back to sleep. And then, because I didn't hear from him again.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, Zach's texting me, blowing my phone up, losing his fucking mind. He's like, so what, now you're just trying to, like, hook up with Billy now? You're just going to try to, he's like, do you even go after Aaron? Like, what are you doing?
First of all, he took me somewhere other than the Waffle House. No, I don't know that. I just made that shit up. But still. Brother, you took me to the Waffle House and you made me sleep on the other bed.
No, dude.
Get the fuck out.
He, like, so Zach, like, called me a slut.
Publicly?
No.
Oh.
In a text.
Oh.
And, like, just accused me of trying to hook up with Billy.
Which, even if she wanted to, who gives a fuck?
But also, like, I wasn't, though. Like, that's the thing is, I was at home.
Sucks.
I was at home, asleep.
I would have hooked up with Billy. Just in spite of Zach. That's all right.
I was at home asleep.
Minding your fucking business.
Minding my fucking business.
And Zach, insecure.
So Billy, and the only reason I'm like, yeah, I'll help out because Zach's my friend.
And speaking of hoes, Zachary.
So,
I'm assuming that's your legal name.
So then, I tell Billy, I text Billy back, and I was like, I don't think I can help you. And he goes, what's wrong? And I was like, well, Zach kind of called me names and called me a slut. And he, I told him everything. I told him everything. So then Billy was like, hold on. So he called, so I'm assuming is what happened.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. So he calls Zach, tells him the story.
Yeah.
Because I got an apology.
Oh. Good.
Like, I got an apology after that. Yeah, like he was like, I'm sorry, and I was like, dude, I was only trying to help. And he's like, that you were good. And I was like, all right. So, but after that, like Zach and I didn't talk after that. And then, because I was like, I just kind of wanted really nothing to do with him after that.
Yeah.
And he didn't like text me because he was probably like,
yeah.
Fuck. So, a couple years later. What was it? I hadn't moved to Vegas yet. Actually, no, it wasn't even a couple years. It was like 6 months later. Scarefest was happening.
Okay.
In Kentucky.
Okay.
I went to the one in 2010, but I couldn't go to the 2011 one.
Okay.
So, but Zach was there. Now, Aaron was at the last one in 2010.
Gotcha.
He knew who I was because of Zach.
Yeah.
And I walked up to his booth and...
Yeah.
And Aaron remembered me and all that. He knew who I was because of Zach.
Yeah.
So...
Which you've also told that story when we talked about Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay. In the true crime
Well,
episode.
that was... Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So... Okay. So the following year, Zach was there. And the line for Zach was just fucking insane.
Oh, I bet.
But I did have some friends that had gone, and I was like, can I give you money? Will you grab me Zach's book?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, I got you, like, and because he was signing books. And I was like, they were like, is there anything you want him to, like, write?
Yeah.
Or tell them, or let us, or what, anything you want to say to him? And I go, yeah, just make sure that when you get to the front, tell them, like, Jessica says, we'll always have an awful house.
Let me.
So.
We gotta get this. We gotta get this in. Can you guys see that? Oh yeah, you can see that now. What does that say? Awful house.
So it says.
Well, it doesn't. It does have. Okay,
it says, haha, awful house. You're a stinker. Wink, wink. Zak Bagans.
You're a little stinker. A little stinky. After I called you a slut, you're a little stinky.
So yeah, but he apologized. So
I forgot. Sorry.
He apologized. He admitted he was wrong. Let it go.
22. I would have done the same thing. Like, truly would have done
22.
the same exact thing.
That's why, like, the way that you and I are connected here.
Yeah.
I was, like, hyper connected with almost every single show.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I had friends on every show on television.
And it showed. When we went to that convention when I was stupid pregnant, like, everywhere we go, they're like, oh, yeah, Jessica, I'm blah, blah, baby-de-boo.
Everyone knew me. Everyone knew me, except for Josh Gates. Because I had never met Josh Gates, and he was the one I'd always wanted to meet, and I was a rambling idiot.
Listen, like, I always tell this story. I was so pregnant. Steve shook my hand like this because I was about to break. And I was about to break. I think I gave birth like 4 weeks later. Yeah. Like, I mean, truly. But that's all right.
So 2 years later, and I told this story on my TikTok.
Yeah.
2 years later, I moved to Vegas, and I'm at an event. I'm at the Las Vegas Paracon, put on by Las Vegas Elite Paranormal Society.
Ooh.
And Zach comes in, and he's like, holy shit, what are you doing here? And I was like, I moved here. And everything was all fine and dandy with us. We had a great day. Zach kept me distracted from what was actually going on. But he talked to me all day. Anytime, anything, like, he'd walk away and then come back and, like, talk, like, just change subjects, talk to me about whatever. And then at the end of the day, Zach was trying to leave, so he comes over, gives me a big hug, and he's like, it was so good to see you today. And I was like, oh, it's good to see you too, Zach. And so then, like, he's trying to make his way out, and other people are, like, trying to say bye to him.
Yeah.
And so he stops and he's like here for another like 5-10 minutes trying to say bye. So then he comes back over to me, gives me another hug, and he's like, I swear to God, Jess, I'm leaving, but I wanted to come give you a hug. And I was like,
thanks, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, and I was like, well, you know, I live here now, so if you ever want to go grab drinks, you just let me know, buddy. Like, we're cool. And then that happened like a third time. Like, he hugged me 3 times before he left, right?
Yeah.
So, my ex was crazy jealous about that. Now, that piece of equipment that I was talking about earlier, my ex had finagled a booth at this Paracon, put out all his equipment, but also had a lot of mine in there.
Yeah.
So so Zach gets to the table.
Uh-huh.
I'm standing where you're standing.
Uh-huh.
My ex is here. Zach is here.
Okay.
And he basically sees this piece of equipment.
Okay.
And he goes, and then my ex goes, yeah, that's my favorite piece of equipment. It's a microphone with external, or it's a recorder with external microphones on it.
We don't like this ex.
So Zach looks at me, he looks at him, and he's like, okay, because he 100% knew.
He was like, babe, I've seen this, been here, done that.
100% knew it was mine. 100% knew it was mine. So with one look, made my ex look like a fucking idiot. So not only...
Thank God. You know what? I'm going to say superhero Zach right there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing is like I do have good things to say. He did. Like, I was in the middle of... Actually, I think I was in the middle of, like, Brad Kling drama. I think that's what was going on when Zach called me. And I was, like, dealing with great, like, Brad Kling drama.
Yeah.
So when Zach called, like, that kind of pulled me out of it.
Yeah.
So... I mean, like, he's kind of, good things. Like, he just, the thing about Zach is, like, to me, he just doesn't think things through. He won't call, like, he'll just hear something or, like, see something, and instead of, like, asking you about it, he will just straight up go nuclear. So, because what happened was, my ex, a couple days after this event, got my phone while I was asleep.
Okay, I was just going to ask you if you wanted to bring this up. Okay.
Logs into my Twitter account. And then called Zach names. Now, I didn't know this. I just woke up to, like, my Twitter blowing up. I have 200 followers. Why is my Twitter blowing up?
Yeah.
I'm like, nobody cares. Nobody's following me. Why is my Twitter blowing up? And I look at Zach's thing. It's our photo. And Zach had called me he's like, do not trust this girl. She's a mentally unstable girl who thinks she's Britney Spears. And I was like, what the fuck happened? What happened between last week
and now?
Then I scroll through my phone, my tweets. And it was literally like all these tweets from my account calling Zach a whole bunch of names.
Now listen.
So
that man is, first of all, Zach is gross, but also the man in charge of all of that is fucking disgusting. Let's put it out there.
So, I mean, and then my ex was like, yeah, now we can sue Zach for defamation. Like, it was a whole thing.
You know what's wild? You just said that. I was like, wouldn't your ex try to sue us for defamation? Just now, allegedly. Gotcha, bitch.
Anyway, but yeah, and then it took me and then after that, anybody I could find that knew Zach, I was like, you guys do me a favor. Because I didn't need, that's like,
it's like when you respond to hate on social media, it kind of makes you look worse. Like when everyone's calling you a racist for something that's not racist, it's like, it kind of makes it worse if you try to play into it. It's like, no, just let my character show. Like, just let my character show that that's not what's happening.
I had a lot of friends, that were friends with me, but that were also friends with Zach.
Yeah.
And they all knew. Like, even, like, my friend Adam.
Yeah.
Like, Adam Kimmel, like, he called me. He did our show once. But he called me. Actually, I was on the phone with him on the way to, like, doing our show because he was, like, he had called in and done our show. So he called and he was like, I just want to let you know, like, I remember what happened between you, Zach, and your ex. Like, I remember. And I saw those tweets and I knew that they weren't from you.
Yeah.
And I wish that Zach had realized that, like, we all realized that none of it, like everybody but Zach realized that you would have never done that.
Well, that's what's wild. It's just like, I mean, I guess Zach only knows you for as much as he knows you, but it's pretty obvious to know that Jessica's not going to do that. Like, I've only known Jessica, like, for what, the last 10 years, I would say. But her character has stayed the same, and, like, her values have stayed the same. So I imagine, like, some fucking thinking would make you realize that that's not Jessica. But we're asking Zach and a man to think. Those things don't exist.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I mean... So eventually, like, I like there was a few people that I was like, can you guys do me a favor? Because I don't need somebody hating me. I don't like it when people just hate me.
No.
Like, I don't.
Especially no reason.
I just don't like that.
Yeah.
So even if Zach and I weren't going to be friends again, I want him to at least know that that was just not who I am.
Yeah.
Right. So, so then I would see him at the museum. Like I've been to that museum 13 times. I've run into Zach about 6 of those times.
Yeah.
And every single time he'll come over and talk to me, say hi.
Yeah.
One time I went on Valentine's Day.
I was just gonna bring this up too. Girls ahead of me.
He popped in every room, and my boyfriend at the time was super fucking pissed.
Which now it's like.
But also at the same time, I had to remind him, like, listen, it's because of me that, like, the other 15 people in our group got to see Zach a lot. They have an amazing story to tell.
Well, it's not even that. The other guy was just being a fucking dick, but that's all right.
Yeah, but
men.
So the more like I saw him at the museum, the more I was like, someone told him. I think I know who did. Thanks, Vegas Dad. May you rest in peace.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Because you know how he used to be like, I'm not getting involved, you know, that's between you and Zach, we're not getting involved.
No, that man would have stood up for you no matter what. We dedicated an episode to him.
Yeah, so as much as like, because there were times where he's like, I can't come to your birthday party, and I'm like, oh, okay, but then he would show up anyway.
Every time.
Every single time.
And like, it was so sweet too, because he like he knew I was special to you, so he automatically was like, I'm going to treat this person special. And like, I met him maybe a handful of times, but every single time it was like, instant, like, loving dad, you matter to this person, so I'm going to make sure to show interest in you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like if you were to bring anybody around you, I'd be like, oh my God, tell me about you. I've heard about you from work or whatever. You know, so it was definitely...
I mean, I know, like, he loved Zach like a son, and he loved me like his other daughter.
Yeah.
So, like... You know, like at some point, I would assume at some point, because I even had this conversation with Christina, like his daughter. Yeah. And I was like, I think even though he said he wasn't going to say anything, I think he said something. And he's like, oh, 100. She goes, 100% he did. He 100% that's something.
He's a hard ass to make you believe that you didn't, but he didn't. But
he absolutely did.
Absolutely
yeah.
Did. Yeah.
Yeah, because he knew it was like important to me that somebody.
Exactly.
Like, I didn't want it. I don't care who you are. Yeah. I don't care if you're like Zak Bagans or like. The homeless dude down the street. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't want people hating me for stuff that I didn't even, I had no control over.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, things are, I mean.
Things are normal.
You know, but I, you know.
It definitely plays into, I think for me, like your stories, and like I said, I've known them for 10 years, but it's so validating to hear these other people pretty much experience the same thing. So, like my little story, it's really quick. So my story is that I have a really good friend, and she saw Zach and some chick on a date, and this chick had like no clothes on, like no like you know those like stripper lingerie where they show, but there's a bunch of like holes cut out everywhere that make no sense. That's what she was dressed as.
Why?
And they were out on a date, and then my friend looked it up, and it was a year after him and Holly started dating. I haven't told her the story yet. So she was working somewhere, saw Zach out on a date with some whore. I say some whore lightly because I'm like, girl, wear whatever you want. Like, wear whatever you want, girl. You're out with Zach. But a year after him and Holly started dating.
Dude, I got a text
I was like, oh!
I got a text from Amy one time.
Uh-huh.
Like, she was up in Summerlin grabbing food at like almost like a Wahoo's kind of thing.
Yeah.
Getting tacos. And she's like, Jessica, I think Zak Bagans is sitting behind me. I think he was with Aaron, but like,
Oh,
he wasn't with a girl. But she would have
Yeah.
been like, who's this girl? No, but she was like, actually, you know what? It was Aaron because I remember telling her to like say hi.
Yeah.
Because Aaron, Zach might, you know, be a dick, but
Aaron's always been a sweet guy.
Aaron's a sweet dude, so
Yeah.
I was like, dude, say hi.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. Like, Aaron's cool. And she just
Awful
was like,
House.
so...
Say Awful House.
Yeah. No, I was like, Aaron's cool. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And she was like, no, I'm too scared. But yeah, she was, I mean...
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I kind of have an Aaron update, too, thanks to Holly.
Oh, okay.
I sent you the clip. So Holly was on a podcast. I should have wrote it down. It's like In Bed With... Anyways, he also did a podcast with Halsey. That's how I found him. But anyways, he did an episode with Holly, and Holly was talking about. I just had.
They were talking about Aaron.
Oh, they were talking about Aaron. Thank you. So they were talking about Aaron, and she was like. Did our light just go out? Oh, I got power now. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, ready? 3, 2. So Holly was on this Wait, they both went out. Okay, we're back. Okay, 3, 2. Holly was talking on this podcast about how she didn't say Aaron's name, but she was talking about how one of her old friends got caught trying to kill her husband. And she was talking to other friends that were reputable and like they wouldn't lie. And they were saying that I guess Aaron's wife was looking for money from other people, was asking people if they knew anybody in the correction system in Florida, like real shady shit. So Holly kind of also did that too. I think that's a fun little update to add to like the drama. But anyways, so that's our ghost adventure. So speaking of Vegas kids or Vegas people being assholes, communicating on social media, let me introduce you to what the emo world freaking lost their shit over this week. Or the last couple weeks, really. So, let me just start from the beginning. Tommy Lee and his wife, Brittany Ferlin, who I have watched since Vine, this is why it's so funny, since Vine days, announced that they were getting divorced on TMZ. And it was because of his alcoholism, which Tommy Lee, he drinks a lot. It happens. So this comes out, and the world is quiet. The world is quiet. And then there was a rumble. The little rumble of a man who happens to crash out a lot on social media. Like, anytime he's accused of something, he'll go to like the 10th degree to prove his innocence. And it's a little... Anyways, his name is Ronnie Radke.
If you go to the 10th degree to prove your innocence, it means you're absolutely guilty.
You would think that. But like, he proves his innocence every time.
Oh.
Like, true innocence.
I mean, I guess I did that too.
But, well, there's also yeah, exactly. But like, there's also like, it plays in. So Ronnie Radke from Falling in Reverse then starts posting everything about, he shows this message, his DMs from Tommy Lee messaging him saying, why are you trying to fuck my wife? And Ronnie Radke, who is like, this is a star. So it would be like Britney Spears messaging you, why the fuck are you cheating on my man? Like, why are you helping my man cheat on you, right? Yeah. So like Taylor Swift is like, why are you fucking Travis, right? Yeah. Like, it would be like, what the actual fuck? No, I'm not doing that. And I feel like you would also want to prove your innocence at that point too. So Tommy's like, why are you fucking my life? And he's like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, dude. Like, what are you talking about? And Tommy Lee's like, you know what you're doing. You've been talking to her on Snapchat. Brittany then starts messaging.
I think I saw Ronnie's TikToks too.
Yeah, okay. Well, because I've been... Listen, that man is very attractive and I need to stop it. Anyways, so then he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Brittany then messages him and is like, dude, you need to tell the truth about what's happening. And Ronnie's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a Snapchat. I've never been speaking to you. So here's the backstory. Brittany Ferlin goes off in her car. She, rewind. Brittany goes on Snapchat, finds Ronnie Radke. It has 2 videos that are from his social media on it. Like literally 2 videos. And that's it. And then she starts messaging this person. This person then takes Ronnie Radke's videos and AI voice dubs them into Ronnie Radke's voice to tell her, like, good luck on your podcast, like, all these things. But they're all the videos from Ronnie Radke on Instagram. Now in this time, every time Ronnie Radke posts something onto a story, she comments on it, right? Like, you know how you can comment on someone's story, but he never responds on Instagram. And he's only talking to her on Snapchat. So that's a little weird. So anyways, Brittany then talks to her Snapchat, Ronnie Radke, and they agree to meet up at his house. But it's his old house. It's not the house he's living in now.
So how does this person have Ronnie Radke's old house address?
Because it's public knowledge. Oh. And that's why he moved.
Ah, okay.
So then she's sitting there.
I feel like that's public knowledge also, that, like, he moved. Or he sold his
well,
house.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, you could see he clearly moved to a new house.
Every time a celebrity, like...
Yeah.
Anytime they, like, sell their house, it's like, oh, so-and-so sold their house for this many millions of dollars.
Well, like, that's where it's weird because his other house, like his old house, you can see where he moved to a new house. It's very obvious. So he also has a girlfriend, which I'm not even going to get into that because I'm confused about timelines. That's fine. So he has a girlfriend, so all this stuff. So Ronnie Radke's not messaging this person, right? So Brittany shows up to the house. She waits outside, which is so funny because Ronnie has this song that pretty much is all like, you're a crazy bitch and you're waiting outside my house. So everyone's been using that audio on TikTok for Brittany. So he's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Pretty much exposes everything. But he goes a little cray-cray. And he's all like, he's really taking advantage of it. Like, he's really taking advantage of it. So then Brittany comes out with the video. And she's like, yeah, I guess I got catfished. But doesn't take any responsibility of, like, trying to cheat on Tommy Lee. Doesn't take any responsibility. Like, I mean, she does, but she doesn't. Like, she's like, I'm living in a hotel room. I just want this guy to leave me alone. Jelly Roll's wife, Bunny, gets involved and, like, comments on her thing. What really pushed Ronnie over the edge was when Brittany messaged his ex-girlfriend of 6 years, who he just recently broke up with, like, in November. And so they go through a thing, and then he loses his mind. And Brittany posts this video, and Ronnie proves that he's never had a Snapchat. Like, he shows all his history. And then guess what, Jessica? Guess what happens? He releases his song and music video with Marilyn Manson the following week. So all of this, Ronnie just blew up everyone's world to make sure his music video got views. And it got 1 million views in one day.
So it was good PR for him. Sorry, at the expense of, like, Tommy Lee's marriage. But,
yeah,
like,
I mean, and, like, listen, I mean, did the
like,
public need to know all that? Probably not. But then a bunch of girls came out and was like, oh, no, I'm being catfished by Ronnie. I didn't know that. So this guy's going after a bunch of people. Trisha Paytas got catfished by this guy. Like, I mean, all these people are coming out. But I will say it's really weird about the Britney. So everyone's kind of like, well, Tommy Lee's been cheating for years. Like, the people that are on Britney's side are like, Tommy's been cheating for years. We all know it, blah, 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 blah. So I have a little backstory because I remember useless knowledge. I was listening to the Canceled podcast with Tana Mojo and Brittany Schofield. And Brittany...
Wait, Tana Mongeau?
Yeah, Mongeau, Mojo, whatever. Yeah. Oh, she goes everywhere. Anyways, she's got the Canceled podcast. So Brooke had made a joke about making out with Tommy Lee at, like, Coachella or something a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And Brittany lost her shit and was like, tell me when it happened. Tell me why it happened. Like, da-da-da-da. And Brooke was like, no, I'm joking. Like, that was a joke. I'm so sorry. She brought it on the Canceled podcast and was like, no, I was joking. I was like, I didn't mean to take it that seriously. Which, if I was watching the Canceled podcast and they said they had made out with my husband, I would know that's not true. Why did Brittany freak out? Probably because Tommy Lee's been fucking everybody in sight. And I think Tommy Lee has not been a nice guy. He also, like, is posting, like, really awful shit under Britney's captions. Like, you're a thirsty bitch. Thirsty, thirsty. And it's like, homie, get a grip. Get a grip. But, yeah. So,
what does that remind me of?
That's exactly what I said.
Interesting.
That's exactly what I said. But yeah, so yeah, Ronnie Radke's also got his Instagram deleted because he has a beef with Chris Motionless from Motionless in White. And I don't know, Chris Motionless did this like stupid like werewolf thing, and Ronnie made fun of it, and it's kind of in this ongoing joke. It's pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty stupid. Ronnie doesn't need to be as mean as he is. Let me make that clear too. But then he changed his profile picture to Chris Motionless and then probably got his account suspended for bullying. Oh, and he has merch that says like, got Snapchat. I'm sorry, it's so good. He's like, hey guys, go buy my mystery box for like falling in reverse. Follow me on Snapchat. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. He's kind of roasting her to death. It's awful because if it like roles were reversed, I would be mortified. Like, don't put this in public.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was funny. But then it's Ronnie Radke. Ronnie Radke has a long history. I mean, he went to jail for 2 years. He was in Escape the Fate. I saw them when I was a young baby child. And like his reputation around town has been known to be atrocious. Like, he's not the Vegas kid everyone loves, especially in like that like emo scene that I was in. And then one fun fact that I thought was funny is that his dad founded a motorcycle gang that is right down the street from my house. It was like a Jesus motorcycle gang, but like right down the street from my house. Yeah, so.
So they're riding for Jesus?
Yes, it's actually called Saviors for Christ. Right down the street on Water Street. I was like, oh shit, I drive past that building. You know what's really funny is I had piano students that were also a part of that group. So I'm like, oh, 3rd degree from Ronnie Radke. So easy in this town. But yeah, so that's the story. And now
the Diddy Trail.
Oh my gosh. So it's been going on for 2.5, well, I'd say 2.5 weeks now. Well, let's just go over it, shall we, Jessica?
I mean,
let's get our notes. All right, we're going to start with week 1.
There's so much detail that we're going to kind of like
yeah, there's a lot of shit I'm not covering.
Like, we're just going to kind of cliff notes it because there's a shit ton of lawyers on, like...
Well, we're going to cliff notes it and then pretty much just like our general opinion because I got a couple. So week 1, Diddy's lawyers, by the way, brush everything off like it's not a big deal, which is giving me Diddy vibes. Like, it just gives me Diddy vibes. Okay, so Cassie goes on trial on day 2. They do their opening statements. Cassie goes on trial on day 2.
The way you do it, I do. I love that song. I didn't even realize that was her.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah. So Cassie goes on trial day 2. She's his long-term girlfriend who mostly experienced the freak-offs and stuff. So she talks about the freak-offs and how they lasted for days at a time, how she would need days to recover, how...
be in the hospital after that.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much she was. Like, she was needing, like, medical attention. She would need, like, a week to recover sometimes. She would talk about his physical abuse and how she was forced to hide it, pretty much. Diddy's lawyers, I mean, she really went into detail. There was evidence, like, her mom took photos of her one Christmas, and she's got bruises fucking all over herself. This girl didn't have a bruise on her. She said she had to take the drugs she had to take drugs in order to cope with everything. So, like, because they keep on talking about her drug addiction, and, like, especially Diddy's lawyers, they're trying everything they can to hold it against her. They're like, well, you consented to it. Well, you did this. And, oh, you were a drug addict, and so was Diddy. So, like, how bad could it be? Yeah. And Diddy's lawyers kept on trying to make it sound like they were just having threesomes. But these threesomes were ending up with, like, gobs of baby oil. At one point, Diddy hires sex workers to have sex with Cassie.
While he watched.
And then, like...
And she wasn't comfortable with it, but she wanted to make him happy.
Yeah, and, like, and if she didn't, she was physically abused. So, like, and he would sit in the corner. They were talking about... So, they were also talking about how Cassie's mom... I actually think that's actually week 2. So anyway, so Cassie's talking about all this stuff. The evidence is shown and video shown, and the jurors are gasping.
Like the jury at one point, like Cassie, after like Cassie's testimony, she's given her testimony, and the jurors are like looking at each other, and they went, that was hard to hear.
Yeah, they were like...
And they're all like shaking their heads, and I'm like, this trial's over.
Yeah, like it's bad. So, Diddy's lawyers are pretty much saying that like he's the victim, that she knew what she was signing up for. They also blamed her drug addiction a lot. They also held her $20 million lawsuit that she won against her. Like, well, you collected $20 million. How upset could you be? And she's like, I would rather give back the $20 million than live a freak off ever again. Like, the freak offs, I would never trade that in for my life. Like, this was traumatizing. This was awful. And then Cassie... Afterwards, Cassie comes out and, like, kind of thanks everyone for, like, you know, helping her because she's super pregnant. She literally gave birth yesterday, by the way. She gave birth on the 27th. So, like, of May. So, like, she just gave birth. So, she's 2 weeks out from giving birth. All of this is really crazy. She's crying on the stand, understandably. I mean, Diddy's daughters walk out mid-trial.
Yeah. Because
they can't stand this testimony because they're hearing how awful it is. This is also where they talk about, the hotel talks about how the security guard from the hotel is also on the stand in the day one. And he's talking about how he got the video of Diddy abusing Cassie in the hotel in that elevator area.
That was a scary video.
And how Diddy then tried to bribe him to delete the video, and he refused. And then the next day, when the security officer wanted to show one of his friends the security video, he realized it was deleted. So he assumed that the hotel was then bribed, which obviously. Cassie also comes out, and she's speaking about how she feels validated because the hotel ended up paying her $10 million.
Yeah.
Because that video is bad. And it looks fucking bad on them, and $10 million is nice. So Cassie never has to work again. Nice for her. Week 2, we had Kid Cudi, Homeland Security finding all the shit in his house.
Well, he blew up Kid Cudi's car.
Yeah, exactly. Executive assistants and Cassie's mom comes on the stand in week 2. His assistant was told to stay quiet, and they would watch him beat Cassie and not be able to say anything because he would hold his higher power against them. You know what I mean? Like, if you couldn't work for Diddy, Diddy could blackmail you in the industry like no other. Like if Diddy blackmailed you or like blacklisted you, you were out of the industry. So a lot of people were kept shut that way, like mouth shut that way.
I'm waiting for like Jennifer Lopez. I want to know if she knows about anything.
Well, she supposedly hid a gun for him.
Oh
She had that whole thing. So I think she did hide a gun for homie. I want to know how she got out. Like honestly,
Jennifer Lopez. That would have never gone on.
Cassie's ex-best friend also was assaulted by Diddy and took the stand and talked about her experience. Diddy when Cassie's mom went on the stand, Diddy blackmailed her mom, saying like, hey, I'm going to expose all your daughter's naked photos and videos from the freak-offs if you don't give me $20,000. Cassie's mom then took like a loan on her home and paid Diddy, which it's like, why does Diddy need $20,000? He doesn't. He just did it. He just did it. Like, just to do it. A sex worker comes out and says that he was told, he didn't even realize Diddy was in the room, but told what to do and how to do it. And Diddy was like in the corner with like, I don't know, something over his face. He was a fucking weirdo. Diddy's assistant at the time comes out, and I'm gonna say this assistant is fucking weird. This assistant's story is really shaky, and I think I understand it, but I also, to me, it's so discrediting. Like, I was like, oh, Diddy chose her to be on the stand. Like, that was not a good look. So Diddy's executive assistant comes out. Her name is Capricorn Clark. And she worked with Diddy from like 2006 to 2012. She was also put in charge of Cassie for a while in her thing. So she goes on the stand. I'm jumping ahead of myself a little bit, but she also is starting to talk about like watching Diddy be verbally abusive to her and all this other stuff. Kid Cudi goes on the stand, talks about his experience, and his experience was that he was dating. Cassie and Diddy had broken up for a short period of time. He started seeing Cassie. Cassie had to get a burner phone just to talk to him, and because Cassie couldn't get away from Diddy. So Cassie then starts hanging out with him. Diddy somehow finds out. Cassie texts Kid Cudi saying, hey, he found out. He's going to hunt you down. Remember this story. Kid Cudi then gets a phone call from Diddy, and Diddy is threatening to blow up his car. Kid Cudi leaves for the night. And then, like 4 days later, there is a hole punched out through his top of his car, and his car is caught on fire.
100%.
So it's like, ain't no party like a Diddy party. So yeah, and then also makeup artists come on the stand too and talk about how they watched Diddy, they watched Diddy verbally abuse Cassie, and then they would hear a lot of commotion in a bedroom and have to cover up markings on Cassie. So that was week 2. Week 3, this is where Capricorn Clark really sits down and talks to everybody. She was a personal assistant from 2006 to 2012. She would get a lot of prescription pills in her name for Diddy, and then she would also pick up a lot of drugs for Diddy. He would threaten to kill her a lot. He also said she was also there on the night that Diddy and Kid Cudi got into that big altercation. She said that when Diddy found out about Kid Cudi, she came to her home and he was like all disheveled and he had a weapon in his hand and he was pacing back and forth and he was going, we're going to go get Kid Cudi. We're going to go kill him. We're going to go kill him. And then this is where he kidnapped her. So this is where some of his charges are coming into play. So this is where he kidnapped this Miss Clark. They go on this adventure. They pick up Cassie. This is where Cassie is like trying to protect him. All this shit kind of goes down. Clark is trying to also protect Cassie in this because she's trying to do anything. She calls Cassie's mom to call 911.
I remember this.
And so then Cassie's mom helps and like kind of does the altercation there. But this is where her story gets weird. Because when Diddy's team comes up, he's like, hey, weren't you looking for a job in 2024? Of April of 2024? You emailed Diddy in April 2024 looking for a job. So why are you here now? And it was like, well, what did you think about Cassie's talent? And she's like, well, she's no Mariah. I don't know. It was just weird.
Who cares? You don't have to be Mariah. Britney Spears wasn't Mariah, but she's still famous. So like, plus Cassie's song was catchy as fuck, and
right?
Come on.
And so there was a lot of like the lawyers were discrediting her, like how dare you work for him? But there's a level too of like I said, if Diddy fires you, your career's over.
Yeah.
So
well, that's not a thing anymore.
Well, not anymore, but at the time.
Yeah.
In 2012, that's definitely what's going on. Mm-hmm. And if you can't work for Diddy, you just got to go with it. And also, if you have Diddy as a recommendation on your thing, you're going to get hired anywhere. Right. And she has an autistic son, so she's like, I just need to take the fucking money. I just need to take the money. So I kind of get it, but she's also being shown to be like kind of wishy-washy. So I don't think that's going to help. So that's kind of what's been going on so far.
Personally, I think he'll never see the light of day again.
Well, I don't know. Because right now, all they're showing is that he's a bad person. They're showing some sex trafficking, but they're not necessarily showing racketeering.
I mean,
for sure.
I think it's going to come out that like he had Tupac killed or Biggie killed or...
Listen, I think
that's going to come out.
I don't think the defense is working any. I think the
defense is just kind of sitting back, begging, like, just, like, 3 times now, like, Your Honor, I called for a mistrial, and like, the fucking judge is like, fuck you.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. It's like, they're trying so hard. They're like, Cassie, you're on drugs? Oh.
I moved for a mistrial, and the judge is like, no, stop.
Yeah. No, and it's a lot, because, like, and honestly, that tells me they don't know where to go either. Because they're like, this man's guiltier than sin. How the fuck am I supposed to get him off?
Yeah.
And his original fucking lawyer left.
Yeah.
So it's messy. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, dude. This is wild. It's really
it
sad.
sucks because it's like a federal case, so we're not all watching it on TV like we did the OJ trial.
Well, and it's just like one of these
Amber
things.
Heard, but like this
Yeah.
is, but it's federal, so.
Well, and it's one of these things too where it's the guy's obviously guilty of all these crimes. But as of right now,
they haven't proven it.
They're not necessarily proving it. And I was watching this with one of the lawyer YouTube videos I watch, and they were just saying that's what they were worried for. They're not necessarily, they're proving he's a really bad person. Diddy's not going to work again, but if he gets out, he still has all of his money. He doesn't have to work again.
I mean, will he have money though? He's paying off all his lawyers.
Yeah, but Diddy's got gazillions.
But also, that opens up to more civil lawsuits.
Yeah, I guess that's
that
true.
was
and he just
OJ
cashed out $20 million.
Because OJ had he had a lot of money too, but then all the civil lawsuits took him.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I really hope Diddy stays in jail. I think they'll get him for trafficking, and I think they're going to get him really hard for trafficking if they can't prove anything else.
Yeah.
It'll be normal people might get 10 years, he'll get 40. You know, I think that's what's going to happen. Because the jury's going to be the jury's already
He'll be rotting
shocked.
with R. Kelly.
Oh my God, the two of them making music.
In jail.
Anyways, well, that was our episode, guys.
It was kind of a doozy, but thanks for sticking with us.
But anyways, we will see you around town, I guess. Bye.
Bye.